All right, y'all, the video I've been waiting for. Yes, yes. I'm just kidding. It's not all that serious. But somebody asked me, they wanted to know how I made those 2 little mini movies. So I can't teach you how to edit. That's something you're going to have to learn how to do yourself. But I can give you some resources to get started with all of that. So I had a couple people to write me and said that they were inspired to start their own YouTube channels. And I'm so flattered, and that makes me really happy, because every time I see another YouTuber pop up, to me, it's like, it's not a competition. It's like, it's another soldier in this war that we're fighting, right? So the more people that speak out against, the censorship and all the lies that the media put out, the more, the truth will come out, because we're really blessed in this day and age to have the technology to be able to shoot footage from our camera and upload it in the matter of seconds. There are people that, back in the day, we weren't able, as I'm saying I wasn't even born, but, we weren't able to do that in society. And like Malcolm X has this really good interview where he talks about the media and how manipulative they are. And back at that time, he was lucky that somebody gave him a platform, but even somebody as popular and powerful as him needed somebody to give him a platform in order to say that. And now we just have social media. We can just be like, all right, record, click, bam, upload, booyah, like, you're moded. So that's, and the mainstream media is butthurt. That's they're trying to censor people. So the more people that create YouTube channels that give their perspective. One thing I love too about what's happened since this election is that there's so many people of all different races, all different ages, because there's ageism, and I love the perspective of the older people, of the younger people, of the kids that are making videos, of different socioeconomic classes, all types of people all around the world that are making videos that have their own perspective to add to this human puzzle, right? So I'm just really ecstatic about this, and if I can help somebody in any way, that I can, I'm happy to do it, because lots of people have definitely helped me, and I want to just play it forward. So I do want to give advice about trolls and putting yourself out there. Because, okay, so in a few minutes I'm going to go and give you some resources on how to edit, but since this is going in hand with starting your YouTube channel, I just wanted to give you guys some advice that hopefully you can ponder on. So when when you put yourself out there, just resign yourself to the fact that your people are probably gonna copy your stuff. They're probably gonna make copies of it and upload it to their channel, and that's fine. Well, for me, I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. So unless you want people, even if they take your stuff, you might want to put a logo on your videos that you make, because at least if somebody takes your stuff, people will know that maybe where they got it from, right? So you might want to put a logo up there. And be flattered, because people are sharing your work. So obviously somebody is going to take something that you've done. It's good, right? It's as far as, like, I'm not against stealing people's music or art but everybody always, they clip from the media, the news, just know that when you put yourself out there, that's a possibility that people are going to take your video. Somebody asked me the other day if they could take my video and use it for something, and I was like, that's really nice that you asked that, but just go ahead and do it. You can take anything. I'm not going to be upset. Even if people, there are people going to take videos and make fun of you. I've had, as far as I know, a couple people do that to me, and there's just nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to spend the time and energy to go after them to make them take it down. They have their own opinion. They have the right to do that if they want to. Now, unless they're creating a libel or lying on me or saying that I did something I didn't, that's another story. You can sue people for that. But as far as people using your stuff, just be aware that that's a possibility, and maybe you want a watermark or put a logo on your stuff, just so it can be traced back to you, and you want people to give you recognition. Also, trolls, right? They're people. They're people that troll because they just like fucking with people. They don't have anything better to do. They're also professionally paid trolls that go and they harass people. Don't let them make you feel bad about blocking them. There's always a block button. So don't be afraid to use it. I used to kind of feel guilty a little bit at first because I'd just be like, well, they're just expressing their freedom of speech, and they'd make me feel guilty. I'd block them, and then they create another account, and then they come back. They're like, how dare you block me? You talk about freedom of speech, and you block me. And then I was like, well, maybe they're right. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck those niggas. Nah, they're out. So because I start thinking about there's a difference between freedom of speech and harassment. So somebody is coming on your page and they're harassing the people in the comment section, and not really necessarily by putting links, but just calling them names and calling them stupid, and just harassing them and not really allowing a viable conversation to be had. Like, block them, right? And they keep coming back, and they keep coming back, and you're giving them chances. They keep coming back. Block them, right? Don't feel bad about it and move on. And they can make another account, block that account, block their grandchildren, block them until you can't block them anymore, okay? Just don't be afraid to do it. It's okay. Now, some trolls, I really am thankful for some of my trolls because they've actually helped me sharpen my sword. I don't really want to do public debates anymore, but I will debate in the comment section sometimes, and it's really good to see their arguments and kind of like use their arguments as like kind of like a punching bag to help you get stronger, right? You can see what their comments are, and then you can make rebuttals to them, and you can do certain things to like just help you become a better fighter and to kind of thicken your skin up. So you might want to like have some trolls stick around if they're not too much of a hassle, if they're not, they're not too bad. Now, if they start death threatening you or getting really violent, like I've definitely had some people send me like rape threats and, be really sexually vulgar and stuff with me. You're going to want to screenshot those and just save them, and then block them. I didn't do that enough. I only have a few. When I first started, especially with the vaccines, people would lose their mind, but it's really cool now. I see more and more people are actually open to talking about it. But April and I, when we first started this channel, we would get some really vile, vulgar death threats and rape threats and stuff. And we didn't really start screenshotting them until later. So I should, you should do that if you get some threats about whatever you talk about. You should make a folder, screenshot them, and then block them, right? And you can even report them. Just make sure there's a record of all the stuff that you're doing in case it gets out of hand, because I think most people do that stuff to scare you and hope that you'll stop. But there are people that are insane, and you don't know how far it can go. I'm not trying to scare you guys because that's like, I don't know, 1%. It's really, really rare that will even ever happen. But I thought I'd just put that out there to let you guys, just to prepare you guys. And just for the most part, don't worry about it in cyberspace. They're gonna, they're gonna have to figure out, before somebody physically hurts you, they're gonna have to figure out like where you live and all this other stuff. But just don't even think about that. I'm just saying prepare yourself, because that, just keep a record of all this stuff, because there are some really crazy people out there. I guess that's it. I mean, good luck. I'm so excited for you guys that want to learn how to do this and further your process of getting information out to people and making it a more palatable and more exciting. So, all right, guys, let's go into the classroom. See you in a minute. Bye. Mwah. All right, Chicky Muffins, what's going on? All right, so what I'm using right now is I'm using a software called Camtasia. I bought this a few years ago, and since then they keep adding upgrades to the software. So now it's probably more expensive than it was when I bought it. I think it's like almost $250. Where I think when I bought it a few years ago it was only like barely like $100. But supposedly now it has better features, so maybe it's worth it. You can do multiple things with it. But right now I use it since I've had it forever. I use it just to record my screen. It's just easier for me at the time being. And they do have a free trial. I think it's like 14 days. So if you want to make videos where you're showing stuff on screen and you're talking, you would get this type of software. It doesn't have to be from this company, but what you would want to look for is a type of screen recording software, and you might be able to find something even cheaper. I'm sure you will. I'm just saying this is what I use. So you can probably find something cheaper. where you can do this and you can make videos. And then they usually have tutorials. These companies that make this stuff, they usually have quick tutorials to get you started, to like show you how to make these videos, which is pretty cool. But when I edit right now, I use Adobe Premiere Pro, and when I use, I have this subscription called the Creative Cloud subscription, and what it is basically you're renting all the Adobe apps, right? You're renting like Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, Adobe Premiere Pro. You're renting all of these for like $50 a month. If you're a teacher or a student, you can get it for like $30 or $20 a month. So you might want to check into that. I think it's worth it because each of these costs thousands of dollars, and you're renting them. So I mean, you're still able to do a lot of things with them. And what I like too is if I have issues, if it crashes, I can call customer support. They have 24/7 customer support, which is cool. Because if you crack it or you get it illegally, you don't have that support. So I'm not judging people that do it. I'm just saying, you know. I don't really know about, you know, these programs and stuff, so I prefer the support if I'm having issues. Now, if you don't know how to use any of these programs, there's another really good resource called Lynda.com, which is basically courses that have all of these, all of these, come on, all of these, all these apps you can actually take classes for online, and it's cool because they have exercises that you can do with the course that you're taking, and they start from beginner to all the way to take you into getting expert level, and they're really well organized. They're subtitled. You can work at your own pace. You can look up courses on YouTube too, or you can just look at people on YouTube that shows you how to do things. But I really like this because it covers everything and it's really organized. And I feel like some people on YouTube, while they may do a good job in, you know, in some areas, it's not really a comprehensive course on the on the app that you're trying to learn. So this is cool too because they give you like a free month trial. So technically, if you're really diligent, you can actually learn it for free. One of these apps are free if you take a beginning course and you take like, you know, any courses can range from a few hours to maybe 10 hours at the most. But if you're taking it, you know, every day for a month and doing exercise files, you can learn how to do at least one of these apps for free. And the thing I like about Adobe is that Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe After Effects, they're all designed the same way. So once you know one of the apps, like you get used to working with layers and you see the features on how certain things work. Once you get used to one, then you see how they're all kind of similar, and it makes it really easy to use the other apps. So, and of course, there are people that, you know, are going to be like, oh, like the people that are really into editing. They're like, I have friends that are editors and they don't really dig Adobe. They're like, you know, advanced, but I mean, they still use Adobe for the movie industry. So I think it's a pretty good program. So also, there's this guy. If you want to skip Lynda, or at least get some beginning tips, there's this guy named Terry White, and ironically, he's a black guy, but he has really good little startup videos for when you're starting some of these learning some of these apps. They're always named like 10 things beginners want to know how to do. And that's a good starting point too, to watch his videos. So he has one for like Adobe Premiere, Photoshop, Illustrator, all like the popular Adobe apps, and he really gives good advice on just like basic stuff that people want to know how to do. Like, oh, I want to know how to cut and splice. I want to know how to work with fonts. I want to know this. I want to know how to, you know. So just check that guy out. He's really good, Terry White. Also, if you want to work with Illustrator or Photoshop, this place, Creative Market, is amazing. They have like the largest selection I've seen. Maybe there's another one if anybody knows, but where you can get like photos and you can get fonts and templates and themes, and like, so for instance, if you want to have some icons in your video that you're making, you can get icons, and then what you can do is like download them into Adobe Premiere, and then you can use keyframes to animate them in and out, or make them come, or make them rotate, or whatever. Or you can just use basic, you know, photos, like, or you can have a background. Maybe you want to have a background with something and have a video here, like, you know. something like that. So they're really good. I think they're priced pretty reasonably. A lot of times they have these deals where you can get like they'll give away a pack of stuff for free. I mean, or not for free, but for really cheap. Where it's just good to build up your library. Another place I like for photos, and these are totally free. These are high resolution photos. A lot of photographers that are just getting started, they upload their photos from all around the world to this website, and you don't have to give them recognition if you don't want to, but you should. But I don't all the time. So it just depends on what I'm using their photos for. So for instance, I want to say I want to maybe make a meme or something. I'm gonna look up Trump, right? Are there any pictures of Trump? Trumpet player. Oh, no, Trump. Let me see. I should put trust. Okay, there we go. So right, so we have these, right? These are nice high resolution photos. A lot of them are anti-Trump, but it doesn't matter. You can still make maybe a good meme with it, you know? Like maybe you want to make a good meme, you can take this picture and you can put it in the Photoshop and put some fonts over it. Be pretty funny. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Oh, I want to say NASA has some great pictures. No matter what you think of NASA, these pictures are great. Okay, and these are free. These are free pictures. You download it. You download it. Like, say I'm going to download this one, right? I download it, and then they say, oh, like I can see crediting is required, but it's appreciated and allows photographers to gain exposure. Copy the text below. So you can, if you want to figure out the photographer's name, you can follow the photographer, look at their work, or you can just download this stuff like I did on my screen. I got this picture. Maybe I'll use it for something. Okay. Oh, flowers, like flowers. If you just like pretty pictures, you just like the site. It's pretty dope, right? Flowers. You can look it up by the color blue. That's pretty well organized too, right? So you get blue stuff, you know. Maybe ideas for certain things. I don't know. Maybe let me see. Zombie. I don't know. Oh, right. So this is a great site too. So let me move on to music. Right, this is my favorite site. It's like $200 for the year, so I can't really afford it right now. But it has the best selection of music, and you can listen to the music. Right now, what I use the YouTube. I don't know if I have it up. Oh, well, let me just say this. Epidemic Sound. Oh, I thought I had this one up. It has a really good pretty good catalog. Okay, too. It's like $15 a month. For music for content creators, or you don't have to pay. It's royalty free, and you don't get any penalties for using it in your social media. But I think Artist.io has the best selection and the best music, and they're expensive, rightfully so. But right now too, what you could use is YouTube Sound Library. All right, for content creators, and I've been using it in the last two videos. So this is specifically made for people that want to make videos on YouTube and use music, and you don't get any royalties. I mean, you have to pay any royalties or any penalties. You just have to credit the person in the bottom of your video. And when I make a movie, I try and do it by mood, or think about what kind of feeling do I want it to have. So this one, I go to mood. But it has type of music too, right? The genre and stuff. But for me, I go like, oh, do I want this to be funky? Do I want to be bright or happy or inspirational or dark or calm or sad or romantic or angry or dramatic, right? So this is a good source too for music. What else was I going to say? Oh, did I check this one? Keep downloading. It's really good now. What this is, I think this is a free trial, and then maybe afterwards you have to pay. I think it's the same. I have keep downloading, but basically it attaches to your social media, and you can download videos from your social media account. And this is how you get the clips, so you can drag it into Premiere Pro to make movies. So, for instance, let me see. Well, let's do this one. I like this guy. I'm going to talk about him in a minute. Let me see. Okay, so this video came up. So I have Keep Vid, whatever. I can just download it, and it would put it. It would send it to a folder once it's downloaded, and then I can use those clips to make movies, and cut them up and take out the sound and stuff like that. So actually, going back, once you know the technical reasons or ways of putting all of this together, you know you got the application, you got now you take the classes, you kind of know how to work with the apps, and then you got music, and you got stock footage and all this stuff, and you know how to do Photoshop. Then you might want to start thinking about the psychology. There's a lot of psychology, and there's a lot of art to filmmaking. So people like Peter Mckinnon, I like him a lot. He gives good insight to stuff. He also does little videos on how to do special effects and stuff like that if you want to like amp stuff up. There's also Rocket Jump Film School. They analyze movies, and they talk about what makes a good cut and bad cut, and I like stuff like that. And also This Guy Edits. It's another good channel that I watch, I subscribe to. And AndyMation, even though he focuses mainly on animation, he still is a filmmaker, and I get really good ideas from him. Plus his stuff is just fun to watch. He's so like talented. I mean, all these people are talented, but yeah, he broke down he did this little animation of this little snowman video that he did. Oh, come on, commercials. Anyway, he did that, and then he did the commercial, the video, then he broke it down, which is really cool. I love when people that are talented, they tell you how they do things, and it helps other people out. So it was pretty cool video. Also, the thing I would like to stress is when you are if you're going to plan to do a lot of editing, I would suggest that you get a computer that is going to hold all of your information. So for instance, I'm using my laptop to record this video, but I don't use my laptop to edit. My friend and I built a computer a few months ago, and it's a desktop, it's a PC where I can add disk space, I can add graphics cards, I can add stuff in case it gets too full and my computer backs up. Because the last thing that you want to happen is when you are making a video and your computer crashes, or you can't get it finished because there's not enough room, it needs to render more. You will hate your life, you will hate your computer, you will hate everybody. So I would just recommend that if this is something that you really want to do, you don't have to build a big fancy computer, but at least get a computer where you can add stuff to, because the Mac laptop, you can't add Mac products, you can't add parts to, right? So you want to get a desktop computer where you can add parts to in case you have those questions. But I hope this helps to get you started. I can't really show you how to edit because I'm a beginning editor myself. Very beginner, but I know a little bit on like how to get started, and I hope that these resources will help you make the best videos that you can. All right, so let me know if this helped you. Good luck with all your videos, all the people that aspire to make YouTube channels, and peace, truth, and love you guys. Okay, bye bye.